All right, live stream. Got it. Good. All right, we're there. Excellent. And we've got a few people already tuning in. Thank you very much. Got a lot of our regulars watching. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you tuning back in. And we've got Steve and Martha. What are you guys drinking today? Let's just see. Paso Wine for a couple. Yeah, but it's been a little while. So you're headed to the Central Coast on Easter. Oh, this next weekend, right? So
hey, Steve and Martha. I want to meet them.
That's very cool. Yeah, we got a chance to visit. We were, I think, over at Full Draw last time they were here, and had a very nice visit over there. So that was really cool. So you're coming back already. That's awesome. Drinking an Epic Estate 18 Ingenuity. Awesome. We're sharing a little 2021 Vermentino. JB and I, Jen Bravo, that is, I call her JB. We have the opportunity, of course, at work to be able to drink while we're at work because, well, we're in the wine industry. So we can kind of do that. But it kind of looks like Suze is probably in between something or another, right? On air.
Yeah. I was like, man, I should have brought a bottle of wine and just said, like, screw it today, but I figured I'd probably keep it legit. What I should have done is book time in the Crush studio because, we can drink in there all day. But I'm in my office right now down the hall. And I just wanted to bust out this little guy for you guys real quick. I don't know if it looks backwards to everyone, but this hangs on the wall every day. And I wish I could pick up my camera and show you the whole situation behind me, but it's all kinds of pictures of the Cork Dorks and myself out at different Paso wine events over the years. So we love you guys. Thank you for having me today. I'm with the Crush 92.5, the perfect blend. And I host a local music show on there, the Crush Lounge. So I'm super stoked to see our buddy Shawn Clark on here today too.
And you can live stream, right? So you don't have to be here in San Luis Obispo County and areas surrounding. I mean, you can still listen to 92.5 elsewhere, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we call it the perfect blend because we have like a great blend of music, but also because wine. And it's a super stylized, like wine lifestyle themed station with some really cool music. And we've got Adam Montiel hosting the morning show these days, which is super fun. Of course, we know him from the Cork Dorks, working with Jeremy West all these years, talking to a wine country. And so you can stream at Crush 92.5. It's Crush with a K, because that's how we roll in radio. Can never spell crush the same again. And so crush925.com, streaming anytime you want to check us out. We podcast our specialty shows. So if you ever want to see or hear my sessions with, say, Shawn Clark Family Band, Crush Lounge, you can do that anywhere in the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll get into why Suze is joining us today as well. While we're doing introductions, let's move over to Shawn Clark Family Band. I don't think he's drinking any wine, but he probably has a cup of coffee somewhere. Anyway, Shawn, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. This is cool, man. Technology is wild, man. This is some crazy stuff. Yeah, I've been drinking coffee all day and roasting coffee all day because that's what I do for my day job. Is I own a coffee roastery called Cacti Coffee. And it's been doing that all day, so I decided just to post up here at the roastery for this little thing. So yeah, I play music around the county too, and I've been doing it for years, for about 5-6 years. So went on a big tour, done a bunch of stuff, play all the wineries, just love music. So
right on. Where's Cacti Roastery?
Yeah, Cacti Coffee Roasters.
Cacti, okay.
Yeah.
Where's that at? Where are you guys at?
We're based out of Santa Margarita, but I roast all my coffee down in Slow.
Right on.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to you, get back to coffee in just a second. We've got Jen Bravo. She works with me. Actually, a lot of the times, Jen is our behind the scenes kind of producer. Between her and Jamie these days, I've got a lot of help behind the scenes in getting things done, getting our graphics done and making sure everything looks good over on the Facebook side of things, all that good stuff. But the other thing that she does is handles all of our consumer programming, basically advertising and events. And today we're talking about Paso Wine Fest. I've got one of the new Paso Wine Fest shirts on.
Oh, I need to get one of those.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
These are cool. This is a good design. We like it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Craftwork. So anyway, JB, welcome. You've never, she told me earlier today, we're getting a bottle of wine out. It's like, I've never been on the show before.
I know when we started the show in April of 2020 is just a way to engage with our fans because of COVID. And how many shows have we done now, Chris? 80, 90 something?
80 something, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the big, Chris said the behind the scenes. This is actually my first time on the show. I'm pretty excited. And yeah, I'm the lead on Wine Fest. This is actually, let's see, my third one I've planned, my second one I've executed, but it should have been the fourth one, but we missed, we had one planned in 2020 and then we didn't have one or plan one last year. So big changes, really excited. Excited to talk about it and to have Shawn here. He's awesome. And Suze is amazing too.
That's right. Yeah. So we do so much to promote Wine Fest. And I know we have winemakers all the time on the show, and it's super fun to have them talk about their wines and everything. But this time around, we're talking about Wine Fest and why. Well, we took 2 years off of Wine Fest. And that actually was kind of a nice thing for me because I've been here 15 years. I've done a lot of Wine Fests. It was kind of nice not to schlep dump buckets for once, for a year, 2 years off. I'm ready to get back at it again. But also there's so many components to Wine Fest that happen that we figured let's do something different. And why bring on winemakers and all of that kind of stuff? Let's talk about some of the people behind the scenes. Let's look at music. Let's look at some of the fun entertainment elements of Wine Fest and talk a little bit about what makes Wine Fest new this year, because after 2 years off, we had a lot of time to rethink how we want to do Wine Fest. We've been in the downtown park for, well, almost 40 years, right? This is the first Wine Fest was in 1983.
Wow.
And it was down in the downtown park. Here is a copy of the original Wine Fest.
That's so cool.
That is amazing.
Right?
Look at that font.
There's a little map in here. You can see how they mapped it out for you. 17 wineries way back.
That's huge, dude. You like just walked around all day with this like huge guy.
Yeah, this is like sometimes I
It's the size of a
next to my
Newton.
head so you can see how big. I have a pretty big melon. This is pretty big. So,
That's great.
yeah, this was the original, and where they put planks over wood, or wood planks over barrels. The original wine festival, when they put it together, that's kind of what created our organization, actually, because we came out of a committee out at the Chamber of Commerce to try to create an event that would attract people to visiting Paso, and that's how Wine Fest was born. And back then in '83, that's also when our AVA, our American Viticultural Area, was first established. And so at the time that we were established as an official wine region, we're also creating an event that would be our signature event for years to come. And so here we are 40 years later, and we're changing locations. Why are we doing that, JB?
Well, the park has been amazing for like almost 40 years. It's beautiful, it's charming, it's the center of town. Couple things, we've outgrown the park for one. And honestly, as charming it is, and everyone loves it, and it is beautiful setting and scenery to be downtown, it's logistically a huge challenge. I don't know if any of you know, can be a little parking issues downtown in Paso Robles. So imagine trying to get, a couple thousand people downtown plus, 400 winery representatives, etc. So it's we're building an event out of nothing, with adding fencing and bathrooms, and there's no power, there's no water. So it was, a challenge, and we made it work. But as we've gotten bigger and we just wanted to move it to a new spot that made a lot of sense, had a lot more room for us to grow and look towards the future of how we can make this event, what started as a small wine festival and now has grown into a really nationally known festival in the years to come, and we needed the space to be able to do that. So we moved it to the Paso Robles Event Center, or to where we go to see the Mid-State Fair. It makes sense on so many levels. There's things like parking lots for people. It's fenced. There's natural ticket gates and other buildings where we can do seminars, and there's power and all of those things, and they're great partners. So it's a really cool move, and there's just tons of space for us to we were really like, confined to what we could do, and now it's endless possibilities.
Yeah, and it's true. Suze, I don't know, how many years have you been broadcasting from the park now with us?
I should have looked up the exact year, but we are approaching, I believe, our 11th or 12th year with you guys at Paso Wine Fest. So we're excited, and we've gone through lots of different configurations with you guys as far as just where we're sitting and what we're doing. And I'm super excited on this project that Jen and I are working on for this year. We'll be a little more involved in your entertainment throughout at least for the beginning of the day. So, I mean, are we ready to talk about that?
No.
Well, actually, yeah, we're going to go back and forth because entertainment. So, okay, you go to a wine festival. What do you get? You get wine, right? Okay, that's cool. We're going to talk a little bit about that because let me just tell you, it's going to be really bitching this year with the amount of wine. We have 100, I'll just go into it. We have 100 wineries committed to being at Paso Wine Fest. I've been doing this event 15 years, more than that. This is the first time we've ever actually gotten that big. We've gotten pretty big in the past. This is legit big. It's really super cool. And we got a great venue though, to be able to showcase that. It's not going to be 100 wineries and everybody else squished into a space. It's going to be really spread out. I mean, you can't hit all 100. And if you do, don't come. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's not the goal of this. But it is an opportunity though, to taste through many wineries that maybe you don't get to. It's like all of Paso Robles Wine Country all in one spot. But we also have to entertain, and we got to feed you, and we got to do other things. That's where Suze comes in with 92.5, the perfect blend. And that's also where some of our bands and things like that come in. And that's actually why we have Shawn. So yes, Suze, let's talk about entertainment.
Well, first of all, just regarding the 100 wineries that you guys have on board and the fact that you can't hit them all for, in one day, because that's crazy. I love that over at pasowine.com, you guys actually have all of the wineries listed. So like you could go on there and be like, okay, make like some notes, like, okay, I really want to make sure I hit Epic or, Hope or whatever brand you really want to do, and like make that list ahead of time. And then you might incidentally run into a couple more that you're like, oh, I really want to check that out. But I just think it's neat that you guys kind of put that up front and let us know what's going on. So thanks for that as like a organizational brain type of person. I like to have a plan going in. But yeah, so like Jen and I basically are working on a special sort of broadcast seminar situation during Wine Fest this year. So during Paso Wine Fest, you're cruising in at noon, you're grabbing some wine, and then over on the Frontier stage, which is like that big stage. If you've been to the California Mid-State Fair, it's like the big free stage on the south end of the fairgrounds where I've seen like the Blue Oyster Cult over there, Morris Day and the Time. So like, I'm super stoked that like we basically get to set up shop on the same stage that those bands have played on, and talk to winemakers and talk to people in the industry and get a little more deep into the conversation of the wines that they're pouring at Wine Fest. So we got a timeline, just confirmed our guest list, which is super exciting. So we're looking at some segments. So Adam Montiel will be hosting. I'll be around hanging out. And so he's going to be talking in different sessions with Richie from Midnight, Joe from Grey Wolf, and Ray from I always say this winery wrong.
Indigene.
Thank you.
It took me a long time too. Once you meet the nice,
it's like one of those like
so
mental blocks. Like every time I come across it, I'm like, Adam, say it again. Indigene. Ray's going to be there. And then we've got Sherman from Thatcher. Audrey's coming out from Epic, Via Creek with Chris. And then the third segment will be Austin Hope from Hope Family Wines, of course, Janelle with Janelle Ducey, and then Billy Grant with McPrice Myers. And that's, I mean, these are all going to be super fun sessions. I do look at that third session as, you know, that's like a little family right there.
Yeah.
So these are going to be some really cool hangout sessions on the Fort Frontier stage before you guys have the band starting over there. And I know Shawn's going to be on the other side playing music. So the entertainment is on point. You guys have done.
You guys, are we recording? Do we record that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's going to be live on the air on Crush 92.5 as we are also hosting it live at Paso Wine Fest. So, you know, obviously come in and enjoy it, but for some reason you can't be there that day. You can also hear these conversations on air live, and then we'll get them podcasted post. So yeah, we got lots of cool opportunities there.
Yeah, that's cool. Those are all great. So we kind of handpicked. We kind of know who wants to be on, and then we try to figure out how they go. Well, we were really fortunate that all of those people and how we've paired them up, they're all friends, they're all buddies. And so we know it's going to be a really fun conversation, kind of how these things go. They're always fun and different and irreverent. So that's cool.
And we're going to ask them all to bring something they're not pouring at their normal spot at Wine Fest, a little secret under the table pour, if you will. So those wines will be being poured at right below the stage with where you're going to be at, Suze, during those broadcasts too. So we'll be texting like all of the attendees while they're there to let them know come in. And the Frontier stage is, you know, is what it's called, and we kind of still refer to it as that. It has these normal bleachers, but they're these massive lawns. We're going to have these really killer shade structures up, and that spot's a spot too for like, bring your low back chair, bring your picnic blanket and picnic, and like get there, post up, like that can be your, you know, then you can hang out for 4 hours and like take a little break and come see what you guys are doing on stage, and then watch the, you know, the main band later in that day. So that's really something cool that we're able to do this year with that space that we wouldn't have been able to do before too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, you know, our brand partners in these sessions were willing to come out with something special to pour. So it's almost like you know, we'll be on with these guys for like 15, 20 minutes at a time. It'll be almost like a little special flash tasting during that segment. And I think it's going to be really fun. And will
consumers get to taste those special wines also?
Yeah.
Really, that's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. That's
another
really
cool touch point.
Suze, let's keep talking about entertainment. I'd like to bring Shawn into this conversation. Shawn, this is our second time. Is it our second or third time, JB?
With me, it's second. So Shawn played for us at an event we did in February called Blend Fest on the coast, which was great. He was recommended to me by multiple people. Our good friend Cameron Ingles at Acacia, and he came and played for us. And first of all the guests loved and freaked out. Our team, we were like, oh my God, they were so good, the best energy. So we were like, I know we just had them at Blend Fest, but like, can we have them back to Wine Fest? Because they were so good and they just, they resonate with the audience. So we're having him play one of the smaller stages, kind of in the Ponderosa area to kick off. He's actually like, right when you walk into Wine Fest at noon, him and his band's going to be playing. And then later in that day, in that same spot, we have Bee in the Hive is playing for us, who's awesome too. So, and then we could talk about, let's get to Shawn and some music and who's on the main Frontier stage later in the day is like our headliner.
Yeah, we can talk about that later for sure. But
how did you guys book like two of my favorite slow local bands? Are you kidding?
And you know, and then we had Spring Release Weekend, which was another event we just did. And I was so busy, and I sent Suze a text. I was like, "Can you just find me someone to play at Spring Release? I don't even care. Like, I'll give you a finder's fee." And you got us Dante Marsh and the Vibe Setters.
Super fun. Yeah, we have so much great local music here on the Central Coast.
We're so lucky. Yeah, it was awesome. So thank you. You're my like band headhunter.
And you did this all without me. How'd you get Shawn Clark? No. So if I could just before we toss it over to Shawn, he's been on the Central Coast for a handful of years now and has some fantastic music out there that you can check out on, you know, basically your streaming services. And if you just look up Shawn Clark Family Band, Google will take you right there. This guy is a fantastic songwriter. He has an amazing group of guys in his band. And just to brag a little bit, New Times Music Award winning Shawn Clark Family Band. So that's kind of like our local Grammys for people that don't live in the SLO County area.
You're too nice, Suze.
Nah.
You're too good to me.
You deserve all of it. So if we want to just maybe get like Shawn's sort of backstory, I'll start us with Fort Worth, Texas to SLO. Take it from there.
Oh man. I think it's exactly 10 years ago now, actually. So I've been on the Central Coast for 10 years.
And I saw a handful. That's time flies when you're getting old. Proceed.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. I thought it was only 5 years, but then I one of my Facebook things popped up the other day, and it was like 10 years, and I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
But yeah, I was in a VW van, just traveling around the country, honestly, and just felt like I needed to move to California, which everybody does. And then I was going to go to LA and go to art school there, and then I decided I didn't like LA, and then I just don't like big cities. And so then I was thinking about going to San Francisco, and I visited, and it's too foggy. So I had somebody here that I knew that was going to start a coffee house, and they actually did end up, I mean, their husband did. Minton Craft is owned by Josh Ashby, and so I supply coffee for Minton Craft. So I started a coffee roastery about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been going good. I support my whole family on it, but that's short story, me getting out.
But then the long story, or the other story, is definitely, we had mentioned that you played at Blend Fest, which I want to say, and we said this earlier, but the energy that you and your band provided at Blend Fest, just like, it was such a cool vibe. It just elevated the experience without taking away. It's not, sometimes you go to events and a band is playing, you're trying to talk to people and taste wine, and it just, they compete. You don't compete. It's like almost a food pairing.
Yeah, I like to do, I don't know, I just like to stay in my lane, like if people are tasting, wine and they're having a good time, I'm just going to play songs that help, make that experience better for them. And then when it's time to pay attention and dance or whatever, we'll play songs for that. And so I have a set list, but it's actually just kind of like I have all the songs there, and I have them listed like slow songs, fast songs, medium songs, so that I can just kind of like pull out any song I want to. I don't really have a set, in stone set list. I just kind of do it organically. So
yeah. And then did you said something about just writing a song?
Yeah, I just wrote a song like 2 weeks ago, and it's just, I wrote this song. I wanted some more faster, fun songs in my set, but I really like this song. It's about just having a good time. It's about kind of like acknowledging that we've kind of been through some hard times, but also being like, screw it, let's have a good time, because whatever, things are open, let's have a good freaking time,
Well, for the first time, we've never had somebody play a song on the Paso Wine Hour. Like experiment. I don't know how it's going to come across. I'm going to mute myself. Everyone else is, so we don't get feedback, and we'll kind of see how it goes. Take it away.
It's only 2 minutes long, so it'll be quick. But okay. I just wrote it, so if I forget some of the lyrics, please forgive me. All right. Let's have us a good time tonight. The world's looking mighty dim. Little while, there's still life. Let's go out for a spin. Let's have us a good time tonight. Let's dance and kick up our heels. This is how the good times feel. We'll leave your wet blanket out on the line. Let's dance and kick up our heels. And let's have us a good time tonight. The world's looking mighty dim. while there's still light, let's go out for a spin. Let's have us a good time tonight. And just throw one back for old Bob. He lost his job to that mob, but it's doing just fine out on that county line. Let's throw one back for old Bob. Let's have us a good time tonight. The world's looking mighty dim, but while there's still light, let's go out for a spin. Let's have us a good time tonight. And let's spend our whole paycheck. It don't mean a thing if it ain't spent. Let's throw it all in, 4 sheets to the wind. Let's spend all our whole paycheck. And let's have us a good time tonight. The world's looking mighty dim, but while there's still light, let's go out for a spin. Let's have us a good time tonight. Yeah, let's have us a good time tonight.
Awesome. Right
Yeah.
on.
Did it work? Did it
That
work out
worked.
okay?
That's great.
That was really cool. I wonder, all of you watching, like, you know, it's that kind of energy at Wine Fest. I don't know if, I mean, for us, for me, for JB, and for others in the industry, I think you get a little jaded after a little while. You go to one wine festival or one tasting or one whatever, and you're kind of like, all right, you know, walk up to a table, tell me about your wine. Having good entertainment really brings out a little more fun energy, and that stuff that, and what you play, Shawn, describe it for us. You were talking about it being a little bit more of that country western, but also kind of almost local in a sense, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just describe it as like just old time country western music, you know. I just love that old style, and I'll play covers, but I won't play anything past 1975 country. I feel like it's a slippery slope. You end up playing, you know, Boot Scootin' Boogie or something like that, and nobody wants that.
That's literally just the song that came to mind.
Or getting drunk on a plane or something like that. Nothing bad about that, man. If you listen to the type of music, it's cool. But I just feel like I'm trying to stay within a genre, you know, like old country. And what's cool is you can play, you know, the top 10 pop from like 1950s, and it's a good pop song that everybody can get into, but it's not, you know, it's not today's pop, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we were describing at Blendfest, and now we're going to have you here over at Wine Fest. It's like, it really sets a really good tone and a good mood. It doesn't compete with trying to taste wine, talk to your friends, and really kind of brings you, I don't know, into the mood a little bit more. And I really dig that. And I think a lot of wineries have recognized that. Suze, when did you said he played somewhere a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah. So I have all these like files from my interviews and stuff. And when we talked in 2016, and you had just come off of Wine Festival weekend at Tobless Creek. So that's pretty far back, but
yeah. And they have some great wine, man. I love their wine. So,
you guys are
right now.
If only we had like that Wonka vision from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where you could like, pass that through.
That would be really cool. So Paso Wine Fest, you know, okay, we have entertainment. We've got all those types of things wrapped in. We'll get into more about the bands and some of the other bands that are going to be playing there. But JB, what are we doing with food this year? Because food, you need food. You need food at Wine Fest.
Yeah, so we're doing a couple things new this year. Everything's new, right? Or updated or upgraded, a twist on what we've kind of done in the past. So your ticket is you get to be there 4 hours, whether you're there for an hour or two, or if you want to stay the whole day. So two kind of options, or do a hybrid of both is what I think I would probably do. Like I was saying, you can bring in your own food. Can't bring any outside booze. We all know that, but you can bring in your own food. So like make an awesome picnic basket with your friends, do like a little potluck and post up under the shade on the lawn or whatnot. So there's that option. But then also we have a whole kind of food court area, if you will. We have 8 or 9 different local food vendors. And everyone with their ticket that they purchase is a $10 food voucher. So we want you to buy food and we want you to support these vendors. We want them to make money and we want our guests to eat because they're drinking a lot. Food voucher, yes. And we've got some really cool people. We've got Shikamoo Grill. They do like Persian food. They're so good. We've got the Rib Line, who's awesome. Lulu Cheese Grill. We've got Wood Fired Pizza, Creperie, Yabba Dabba Dogs. I'm probably missing some right now. Jimmy's Watering Hole, who we all know from the fair. Bonnie's doing food. We've got coffee. So total variety. And like I said, with your ticket, you get what Chris just showed is our $10 voucher. So come and bring a picnic or get in line and get some of that food and hang out. So I'm really excited about that.
I think what we need to be, of course, responsible in trying to make sure that people are at least putting a little something in their belly, but also, unlike other festivals, we're encouraging you to bring your own food, bring a picnic, bring a chair.
I don't know any festival that you're allowed to do that at, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either. And I mean, obviously, if you go to a winery, you're going to be, limited maybe to their food. Maybe you can bring food, but as Paso Wine Fest, though, we want you to do that. It's been a tradition ever since. People have been able to walk in. I mean, at one point in time, we never had fences and that kind of stuff, but that got a little out of hand when you start finding vodka bottles at the end of the day in the lawn. But yeah, absolutely. Bringing your own food is super important. We want you to make sure that you're having a good time. It's almost as important as sunscreen, water, and all those types of things is making sure that you're putting a little food in your belly. We also have some really cool seminars, and I'm going to take this one for just a hot second here. Seminars are educational. They're seated. You sit down, you listen to, a few people on a stage talk. They can be really boring. They honestly, they can. We're making sure that our seminars are not. So for one, the first one is all about Cabernet Sauvignon of Paso. I think it gets a bad rap, honestly. Everyone's like Cab of Napa and whatever. And so we're deciding, let's just do Cab icons. And so we've got some really great producers, also Justin, J-Lore, my favorite neighbor, who am I missing there? Dow and
Everly.
And Everly, thank you. Are all going to be on stage. We're going to have a great moderator in Amanda Wistrom-Higgins with Full Cup Solutions, as well as Dream Big Darling. She also knows Cab inside and out. She used to work for Ancient Peaks, of course. Her family still owns that brand. She's going to be our moderator, and we're going to be going through some really great iconic Cabernet Sauvignon wines and blends, and talking more about why Cab is such king here in Paso. It represents 50% of what's grown here. Our other seminar, we're calling it You Are What You Drink. And that seminar is all about organic, regenerative organic, and biodynamic wines. And so there we'll have Tablas Creek, Robert Hall, Castoro. We'll have grower Steffi Terizzi as a part of that conversation. And missing one. Via Creek in the Maha Estate. Erin Kirschman is going to be our moderator. She is the executive editor of Wine Business Monthly, also very passionate about the subject on organic and biodynamic and all that stuff. You may have seen this week, TTB came out with a ruling against just calling clean wine because there's no actual meaning to it, and it seems to connotate organic or something, and it doesn't. And so now marketers have to rethink themselves, and that's kind of what this seminar is about, is looking at things that actually matter, certifications that matter. So if you go to pasowine.com, you're going to find a lot of that stuff. But we also have a really cool VIP section. JB, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and the cool thing is these seminars are right before Wine Fest starts. They're at 10 o'clock, they end around 11:30ish. So get there at 10, hit one of these really cool seminars, meet the makers, and then literally roll right into Wine Fest. So, and again, with this new space at the event center, there's, 2 huge buildings where we can build out these seminars. So again, just a really awesome benefit of moving to the event center. Something else new this year is our VIP lounge. So for those looking for a little bit more of a elevated experience, I guess, if you will, we're only selling 300 of these tickets. They have their private parking. This is like right there. Their own bathrooms, these really beautiful like private lounge areas where you can kind of just come and sit and chill, and it'll be nice and cool in there. We have DJ Manuel from Traffic Records is going to be in there, like doing music all day, vinyl. And then we have 4 wine bars also in the VIP area that is going to be pouring wine with some wine educators, sommeliers, and food, of course, like VIP experience. The best thing about a VIP area is the food. We have 5 different chefs, restaurants, wineries with restaurants that are going to be serving these really awesome gourmet, I don't even want to call it a bite. It's more substantial than that. So new, like I said, VIP lounge with the DJ, 4 wine bars, 5 restaurants, private bathrooms, et cetera, et cetera. They also get a little secret treat. Those pins we're making, Chris, all VIPs are going to get one of those.
Really?
So,
That's a cool. Can I have one?
You can have one. Yeah. And only they're almost sold out. So we only are like 300 people. So again, like just kind of other people, some people want to have that more exclusive experience. So we're going to add that for them.
And we couldn't do this in the park. And while the park was awesome, and some people are like, oh, I know the park, I don't know, Suze, have you heard anything? Because you guys have been promoting this and talking about it, and you probably talk to people we don't talk to. Have you heard any feedback on like, oh, what, they moved it? What's going on?
No, it's more like, what, they moved it? Like, it's like, that's really cool, because I think, especially for people in the local community that have been to both spaces for different events, that it clearly opens you guys up to a lot more possibilities, definitely more room. I mean, look at you guys with 100 wineries this year. I think this is a really fun move for you guys. And I know it's a little tough because we get, I don't want to say stuck in our traditions, but we get accustomed to them, right? So the tradition of going down into the park for Paso Wine Fest is definitely like a cool thing. But at the same time, if, we want more out of our Wine Fest every year with Paso Wine, something's got to give, right? And so I think this decision to move it over to the event center is great. And I mean, just simply for the fact that I know that there's going to be some dedicated parking is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and we touched on like all the great things on our team, why we think it's a really great reason. And, we hear this and that from the community, and overall everyone's super excited. But honestly, at the end of the day too, like, we love our consumers, we love our guests. Please go buy tickets. We want you to be there. But what honestly is like as equal, if not most important, are our wineries. They're our members. And we want to make an experience easier and like less stress. They're like dedicating 4 hours of their staff time, actually probably like 6, donating the wine. So now they have their own dedicated parking. They have people, we're going to have people there with gators to like move their wine to their spot. All of these things to make it easier, like on our wineries, because it's a big lift for them and we appreciate it and couldn't do it without them. So that also, we wanted to create a better consumer, a guest experience, but equally to that, we really wanted to make it where our wineries weren't like, it's Wine Fest, I can't find parking, it's such a bitch, it's We wanted to be like, oh my God, this is Wine Fest. Like, I'm so excited. Let's get down there. We can park, or I can run to my car if I need to, or whatever it is. So
it's funny, but behind the scenes, everyone that's watching, that's not in the industry, happy vendor equals happy guest, truly happy. Because if they're in that good mood and we didn't just stress them out getting in there and parking and all that kind of stuff, then they're going to be having a good time themselves. visiting with you and hanging out and talking about their wines and all that stuff. And it's just a little known fact. We've seen it now in a few recent events where our wineries are so grateful because we've made things a little easier on them, that they actually in a sense get to have a good time themselves, because they're not always drinking with you either. They kind of can't. They've got to gather their things up and drive home and everything. And so but their entertainment is definitely coming from the joy, I think, that a lot of guests are having while they're there. Sue, so when you're going to be at Wine Fest and you're going to be broadcasting, you're going to be up on the stage, but there's probably some elements as a Paso Wine fan in of yourself that you're kind of looking forward to. Are you looking forward to something this year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, for sure, just like really excited to cruise around and experience this whole new venue and all the new fun stuff that you guys have set up for us out there. I always really like about Wine Fest that each winery sort of, I don't know, they like to like go a little above and beyond with like their decor, and they might have some fun swag there for you. I think I even sent you like a picture the other day of me at like, I think it was like 2017 Wine Fest.
Yeah.
All kinds of like brands on me.
Yeah.
Like crazy gray wolf glasses. So it's just fun. It's really a fun, it's like you can get into a serious wine tasting situation, but you can also, on the other side of it, there's like so much fun being had. And all of the people that are, at the tables pouring are just a blast to get in there and talk to. And I always have a great time just going around and seeing what every winery has kind of done with their booth every year. I don't know if that's like a silly thing to look forward to.
And that's really fun.
Yeah.
And also so with, wineries step it up. They bring like the coolest stuff, like giveaways. I too have like my pockets and my fanny pack is full. And so this year, everyone who goes to Wine Fest gets a tote bag sponsored by Travel Paso. Thank you, Travel Paso. So you'll have a tote bag so you can put all your stuff in it, because then you're like, I don't have any room to put 5 sunglasses on. So we'll have a tote bag. We've got a few brands, Dow Austin Hope and Justin Winery. They actually are doing their own kind of standalone, like big areas with some really cool elements like food and lounges and some other fun stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
When Hope Family Wines brought out literally like half of a boat. Yeah, it was like a boat that you could like take like pictures with like a backdrop and stuff. It was just so fun. With like hats.
And of course, music all throughout the afternoon. We'll probably get into some of the the headliner band as well that we're going to be having, but I want to make sure we have enough time, because believe it or not, we only have about 15 minutes left here. For Shawn, do you have a second song? And I'd love to hear it if you're ready and willing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna do one of my original songs, but I was thinking about it while we're talking, and it's kind of about it's about drinking too much. So I'm not gonna do that one. I'm actually gonna do the one. I'm gonna do the one that that you said you liked, the Honky Tonk Women one.
Oh,
that was a cool version, and it got everybody totally pumped. We were back to Blendfest. We're walking through the aisles, and you start playing that song, and then everybody's like just turning and starts dancing and grooving.
Really cool.
Yeah, so I was just gonna kind of show that I do some like early rock stuff too, and but I do kind of like a country slant on it a little bit. So. But yeah, I'll play like a verse and a chorus of that real quick for you. And,
hey, we got a quick question though before. Will tickets be on sale day of the event, or do you have to get them beforehand, JB?
They will be on sale day of the event, but they're going to be a little bit more money because we need to pre-plan. So buy them in advance.
Buy them in advance.
If you find yourself there, we will sell you a ticket.
You just
All
never
right.
know that there's not going to be a ticket when you walk to the door. I mean, who knows?
Well, it happens because Blendfest and Spring Release, we were sold out. So we had people show up, and I hate to turn people away, but I'm like, I admit capacity. I can't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Shawn.
Yeah, I'll just play like a little verse and a chorus of it for you. So tried to take me upstairs for a ride, but she had to heat me right over her shoulder. 'Cause I just can't say drink you off my mind. It's so honky-tonk women. Give me the honky-tonk blues. It's those honky-tonk women. Give me the honky-tonk blues.
Right on.
And then
Where
imagine,
else are you playing one of these days
I love
soon?
that.
Where else can people come and see you guys?
I don't know. I got like I have an Instagram, and so I put all my shows on there. I think I'm playing the Tascadero Colony Days or something like that.
Okay.
That's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your Instagram handle?
Shawn Clark Family Band.
All right.
And
Gotta
Shawn
check
is
that
spelled
out.
Shawn spelled the correct way. The SHAWN.
S-C-A-N, no.
So I do like the SEAN Sean's, but it's just the wrong way to spell it. Sorry, Shawn.
Awesome. And then do you have, I mean, we can go to your Instagram and everything, but do you have stuff recorded and anything like that that people can get their hands on?
Yeah, the best way to do it is like Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that. There's two actual Shawn Clark. There's a Shawn Clark Family Band, and then there's just Shawn Clark. So Shawn Clark has some stuff that I did with two of my other buddies, Chris Beeland and Ryan Delmore. We put an album together. It's called Spirit World. And then, and it's got one of my other songs that I wrote for my aunt on the Shawn Clark thing. But then Shawn Clark Family Band, I got 2 albums up on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Who's in the band with you on Shawn Clark Family Band?
Currently, they trade out a lot, but I've been keeping a regular band lately of Ryan Delmore plays guitar with me. He plays the electric guitar. He just kills it, man. He's just like one of the best. It's not that he's technically the best. He has the best feel around on guitar, man. And then I got a drummer, Ryan Alshouse. He's just the best. I think he's the best drummer around. He's played for some really big bands. He's opened for Aerosmith. He's a good drummer. And then Phil's my bass player. And then I have a pedal steel player that plays with me. I've got 2 of them actually. One's Drew Barefoot. He plays with me, and he's an amazing singer-songwriter too. Andrew Barefoot, you can look him up on Spotify. He's an amazing singer-songwriter. And then there's also Adam Nash. He plays pedal steel with me sometimes too. So yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Suzanne, when you've talk a little bit about the showcase that you've had Shawn Clark on before on 92.5.
oh yeah, so it's called the Crush Lounge. Again, it's always Crush with a K when you're talking with me. You can see it out there. But yeah, so it just blew my mind when Shawn said he's been around for 10 years. Cause I mean, we've basically been talking for almost that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Crush Lounge is about 30-ish minutes, sit down with a local or even maybe a traveling singer-songwriter or band. Sometimes we just play the tracks. Sometimes they play live in the studio with me, and we just like to sit down and have fun, so something kind of like the Paso Wine Hour, but instead of wine, it's music that we celebrate every time. And I mean, we've been known to pop a bottle of wine or maybe some whiskey or a beer too.
Yep.
And I think sometimes when we do cork dorks or something like that, we leave a couple bottles wide open for you guys, because I hear.
You know what? I don't know if Shawn has ever, been in after that, but yeah, there's definitely been many a time where I'm in there, like, getting set up for a Crush Lounge session, and I'm like, oh, cool, there's some wine from lunch.
It's spilt everywhere.
Yeah, there's that too.
It smells like alcohol in there.
We have a good time here.
Smoke.
We really do. We have a really good time in this town when it comes to wine. And it's pretty cool that we have a wine dedicated basically station, because at Crush 92.5, you guys also will do little snippets about like what's happening in the vineyards or what time of year it is, crop reports, stuff like that. And that's really cool too. I think it's really fun.
If we have a few minutes, I'm going to run down to the studio and just show you guys, because we have some really cool, like, old bottles of wine. There's like a whole, I think
We're on the run with Suze.
I'm just sorry if that's weird. Look, there's Adam Montiel. Hey,
Adam.
wine
What's
hour.
up, Adam?
Hey, are you working on the podcast?
So I was just bringing them in here to show. I mean, it's hard to see that, but we have hats hanging on an actual wine, like grapevine up there.
Cool.
And then Adam has just had the opportunity to taste some really, really cool, special, really old wines from Paso, which is really neat. I mean, you got like a 77 Estrella right here. There's an 83 Eberly Cab, a 79 Eberly Cab. He also went to France, and that actually came from France. Back with you?
Which one?
This Saint Emilion?
No, somebody brought it.
Oh, somebody brought it.
in.
Oh, well, poor Adam. He has this
We got
terrible
plenty of
tough life. So anyway, so this is Adam Montiel, and he'll be up there at Wine Fest hosting those live broadcast interviews.
Shawn's there, Jen's there, Toronto. Oh my God, look at that.
What's
Heck
up?
yeah. What's up?
So, yeah. Adam is
I love
definitely
it.
a wine guy.
Yeah.
And together, we make this happen every day. So.
So these guys at 92.5 are such great partners with us. And then on the side there, Mr. Adam Montiel does a little podcast for us called Where Wine Takes You. And so we're obviously greatly appreciative of his efforts there. And then we get that out there also in so many other ways and channels. And so that gets the Paso Wine word out there. JB, what are we missing when we're talking about Wine Fest? We're running out of time here.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've talked about everything.
Super important, which we set up right in advance. So I'm going to tell you that in 1 second. But first, you can find everything on pasowine.com. You'll see Wine Fest. Wine Fest isn't just one day this tasting. It's a whole 4-day weekend. So starting Thursday, we have 2 dinners at some of our great partner restaurants at Thomas Hill Organics and the Hatch winemaker dinners. A few of those tickets left still. Friday, we have a new event called Sparkling Paso at Paris Valley Road with 5 Paso sparkling producers with food. Chris will be there. It's going to be awesome. Hope to have that ticket for sale soon. And then Friday night, we have a Starry Night dinner. So this is really awesome dinner down at the Event Center. And then Saturday, we talked about the 2 seminars and the grand tasting. And Sunday, then we're encouraging, everyone to get out in wine country. So there's over 150 just events happening just for Wine Festival. So music, winemaker dinners, barrel tasting, special tours, vineyard tours, like you name it. There's so much going on. So it is so much more. We want to see everyone at the Wine Fest itself, but for the whole weekend, there's a ton happening. So we decided to set up, because we love our Paso Wine Hour fans, who especially most of them have been watching us for 2 years. We set up a special discount code for a Wine Fest ticket, and it is called Paso Wine Hour 22. So go to pasowine.com. Are you pointing at me for what?
No, I'm pointing actually at
there you are.
my name. We have a promo code Paso Wine Hour 22.
Yeah, so Paso Wine Hour 22. That'll save you some money on a GA ticket, $20 actually. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. We needed to make sure we got that out there. And so for everybody watching on Paso Wine Hour today, if you're inclined on coming to Wine Fest, just use the Paso Wine Hour 22 promo code to save yourself a little bit of money.
One other mention, Chris, is not only at Wine Fest, we have these really amazing local artisan makers. So we have 9 of them. So there's not just wine, there's 9, like I said, artisan makers there. So we've got your buddy El Rancho Carpintero making, what does he call it, a modern day sombrero.
Yeah. I know that guy. That guy's cool.
He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
there. He was with us a couple years ago. Jewelry, leather goods, like all wine focused and centric. Our new friend Fly With Me, not a local good, but a really cool new partner. It's this luggage. Suze, I think he said you
Fly with Wine.
Fly With Wine. Yeah, he was in our office this morning. Those things are amazing. So
They are super cool. Yeah, Adam has they have kind of some different sizes, but I just got a carry-on size. And so basically it's like this really solid, like reinforced piece of luggage. And it comes with foam inside. So mine holds 5 bottles. I think Adam's holds like 12.
Case of wine, baby.
Obviously.
he brought us an eight one to the offer for us.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. Fly With Wine is the company, and they are fantastic. And and even if you for some reason aren't flying with wine, it's just like a really cool piece of luggage, and it's got like the little coat on the top that's all TSA approved. It's some cool stuff, and I'm really stoked that they're in our community. So
yeah, so he's gonna be there. Our friends at Yes Cocktail, Leave State Or doing olive oil. So there is some other things too to shop.
And go shopping.
Wine Fest is going to be really cool this year, you guys. So moving it out of the park and over into the event center. We couldn't do all of the things that we're trying to do now in the park. We would have to build a whole city. And so we are stoked that we have this move, and we have the ability to take advantage of the move, to have 2 seminars at the same time, our VIP, multiple stages, the big stage with Adam and the Crush up there interviewing winemakers and broadcasting that live, and not having it compete. We've tried that in the past. I know we've attempted it, but then it just gets so drowned out and nobody actually gets to listen in or be entertained by it live there, And so that opportunity is really super cool as well. Great food. Go to pasowine.com to check it out. For all of you out of area, maybe tune in to 92.5 and listen in on that day on May 21st. Because we'll be having some really fun interviews and join us with a glass of wine. But if you're coming to Paso, if you're inclined to come to Paso, or if you're local, pasowine.com, use that promo code PasoWineHour22 to save yourself $20, $20 on every ticket. And here we are. It's 4:00. It's the Paso Wine Hour.
I interrupt you. There's something super important we didn't talk about. So our headlining band,
oh yes,
by the way, I don't know if I told you this, Suze, they're called Private Eyes. They are a Hall & Oates cover band coming from Area. Yes, they are going to be from 2 to 4 rocking the stage. Our team is super excited because we all love Hall & Oates, especially my girl Jamie there. So Private Eyes is going to be playing. I'll be there dancing. I can't even wait. I'm so excited.
Wait, Jen, are they watching you?
I don't think I can go for that.
Yes. We gotta watch out. She's the man eater.
Shawn Clark, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for bringing your music to Paso Wine Fest this year and also to other events all around wine country. Again, go to his Instagram page, Shawn Clark Family Band, to be able to see where he's playing and what he's up to. Shawn, thank you for being on. Suze, thank you.
It's an honor
as well. Finally, fun to have you on this and to be able to chat with you about what's coming up. Looking forward to it.
It's been fun too to be like, flip the script a little bit and have you be the interviewer, because usually it's the other way around. So this has been super fun. Just real quick, ShawnClarkFamilyBand.com is also a thing. And then for us, always online, it's crush925.com, always crush with a K, like I said. And you can stream us 24/7 wherever you're at and check out some of those, archive podcasts and things like that with our wine conversations or the music. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you for that.
Shawn, I'm sorry I didn't give you a last word there either. So anything else to share besides the website and everything?
Oh, no, I was just saying thanks to Suze because I hate promoting myself. So she's the best
No,
at that.
it's about him. Gotta say it.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be on here and to be a part of this. This is really cool. The only thing I would mention is I have a coffee roasting company called Cacti Coffee Roasters, and you can check them out online at Cacti Coffee Roasters Instagram. So
Yeah, get some of that
Cool.
coffee. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm gonna need it after this half a bottle of wine that drink.
Cheers, you guys.
thank you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. JB, back to work, huh?
Back to work. I'm gonna try and get that sparkling ticket for sale right now.
You guys, this is a really big task, and JB and the team here, we are actually, it's kind of like now she's in charge, it seems like. I feel like I'm being told to do things a lot lately, and so.
I love telling people what to do, so it works out good. I do quick shout out. We've been working with, we couldn't have done this honestly we have brought in some partners because we are a small but mighty team. This is a huge undertaking. We work with Emily and Amber Carson Butler events. They do like really amazing high-end weddings and corporate events. Like they're like this level when it comes to event planning. So they're doing like our logistics out, like help with vendors, like couldn't be doing any of it without them at all. And they're awesome.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Good shout out for them. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be working with a bunch of really great partners. We did a walkthrough the other day at the event center, lots of people on board. So we're looking forward to putting on a really good show for you. So hopefully you're able to join us at Paso Wine Fest this year. You guys, cheers. Thank you so much for being on. Appreciate it. Suze, JB, Shawn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye. See you on May 21st.